Okay, that should be all set now. Hello and welcome. It is November 19th. We are talking about timelines today. And I don't know, Phoebe, what do you got for us?
All right, sounds good. I have the don't laugh, but I have on my list. Tell Sandy to record. That was funny. So, hi, I'm Phoebe. We're gonna be talking about timelines. It's not gonna be crazy sauce, so don't worry if the town hall has you exhausted. And also bear with me for a second while I share my screen. As I said, technology and I just don't get along. Okay, so this would be a good opportunity quickly. Oh, now you can see my screen, sorry. Um, just to remind people about where to find some of these templates. This is the NPDI website. If you have not looked on the NPDI website, either if you are about to apply for NPDI or if you are just like looking for some stuff about program development, what program development is, things like that. This is a really good thing to find. I will drop this link into the chat later, but this is the NPDI website. If you're looking for the RFR here, that is here. This timeline template will be what we're looking at today. Also has all these resources, and Sandy had mentioned the recordings. This is where you can find all the recordings here as well. You can also look through the FAQ if there are specific questions you have, either for your NPDI application or for just some general pieces of grant knowledge. But for timelines, I actually have already clicked this link, so I'm not going to make it download it another time. This is a timeline. The timeline attachment is exactly what it sounds like. It is a timeline for how a program is going to go. It's usually from the point of award, which is most helpful, and then goes through the implementation process. Implementation process is getting the program up and running after you've written this grant persuasive piece saying, hey, we need this service and this is why we need it, etc. This format, this template is just a LUK standard. Different funders will have different templates, but this is what we have provided you for your use for the NPDI if you are applying. Um, it goes with a target start date. So when would you like for this thing to start? Target completion date. When do you want this thing to end? The actual completion date. When has it actually been completed? And then what is the thing that you are doing? We're going to note here that this will refer to an outcome in the logic model. So when you're talking about, like, let's say, like 5 kids in a program will attend or something like that. So you would type in, 5 kids per program or whatever your key activity is. The responsible party, so who's in charge of getting that key activity done, who's in charge of making sure that that outcome is addressed, and then an explanation of the status or the activities planned. I know that a bunch of us were just in the strategic planning. So things like this is where we're at, or this is the next step for whatever comes next, or whatever activity is planned within this activity, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, Phoebe, I want to just jump in for
Yeah.
our NPDI folks. Um, you do not have to complete all of these columns at the time of application. Obviously, you're not going to have an actual completion date because it hasn't started. And then if you need to use that last column explanation, feel free, but this is also intended as a reporting tool so that down the line, you'll be able to turn this in again with an update to let us know, us and MT know where you're at with your progress. So just wanted to add those clarifications for NPDI. We are hoping for a target start date and completion date, the activities and how that links to the project, and who is responsible. So those are the columns to really pay attention to for the application process.
Yes, absolutely. And also wanted to add to that as well because I fumble on this all the time. Um, Most funders, us including, the NPDI included, um, are not looking for like this program will start January 12th, 2026 at exactly like 9:12 a.m. Like it doesn't have to be that specific. Different funders will you'll put different things. And I do have a couple examples up to show how different timelines can be structured as well. Um, any particular questions though for these categories and or what they mean? All right. Let's look at a couple examples then. One of the examples is a prior NPDI project that was funded last year. One of the projects funded was for Prison Pathways, which is a project designed for youth in the LGBTQ community. So I'm going to stop sharing so you don't have to watch me flounder through at least 15 tabs. If you want to, you can. That'd be fine. But I won't subject you all to it. There we go. So this is just an example of what a timeline could look like. And then I also will show you what it has looked like after the editing process. So it is common for timelines to change, as Sandy said. Usually, we'll come back to different groups. It could be MT, it could be the implementation team. All sorts of things can change. With external funders, it's always a gamble on if our start date will be our start date. But for NPDI, we've kind of set the dates. As you can see, let's try and highlight there. There we go. Actual completion date is to be determined. And also, as you can see, these are months with the year, generally speaking. So this, we're not getting into specifics that harshly. These activities are also reflected in the program's logic model. So things like, the goal of making sure that there are empowerment groups or community outreach outcomes like that are reflected in that logic model. And then these are responsible parties. From this, you can see that there are also things included in the proposal for this. A part of this proposal was for there to be a committee or, to involve local GSAs. So responsible parties don't always need to be, thinking of a division, thinking of someone in Lux admin, etc. It could also be partnerships if you're looking for, you know, if your program is working with someone outside of LUK. And
Phoebe,
then,
oh, sorry, just one more thing about that before Phoebe moves on. If there is a particular role, job title that is responsible, put that in there. Don't put Phoebe Cohen. Just things change. So it's better to use that title. I'm not seeing any here, for example. I see a generic Lux CES division, but it could be like youth development coordinator, youth development staff, something like that.
also, fair warning just to new people who have never interacted with me before. I'm usually on mute as I am giggling at different things. So I'm sorry, my restriction is always off. And I realize I'm off mute and I'm like, oh, people can hear me giggling. I laugh at everything. So, yes. With explanation of status and activities, the person who put forward this proposal filled this out just with some general, hey, you know, this is what status is for launching these groups. These are the training materials, etc. Um, and this is pretty much, as you can see, there are a lot of slots, but you don't have to fill this in that much. Um, this is where this timeline has started. And then this is what it looks like after a whole bunch of editing. You can see some of my comments. I was involved in the implementation of this for a little bit. Um, but as this has evolved into a full-fledged program that is now in the implementation stage, um, there are lots of other things that this timeline can be. So, like, specific dates have been put on to help us kind of structure the rollout. Um, different, like the surveys, if we're using a specific survey. Um,
Okay,
if
I just
there's a
want to,
certain,
sorry, I just want to point out, I love how putting Meryl's name in there, it completely contradicts what I just said. So thanks for your support, Meryl.
um, thinking about things like space here, um, youth, all these different groups that have been contacted during this program rollout. And also, as you can see, as different programs have different needs, um, like these dates aren't that specific. Um, when it comes to parties, also shout out Meryl, um, reach out to different people. This is also cross-divisional. So lots of different people involved at lots of different stages. But this also goes to show, and this is also a whole bunch of brainstorming that was done. As you can see, though, nothing about this timeline has been static. It has evolved. And this is also not the only way that you can structure a timeline. I just pulled this up for funsies. But this is a timeline from a federal funder. This looks scary. This is just to show you, though, like another way of this going. Um, this is for mentoring, I believe. And this goes by months. So you could say like month one after implementation or something like that. This one goes to a semi-annual report, but so you can see different things for different. This is just an example of another way to structure it. Um, so any questions before we do something fun and silly? All right. So, um, let me make sure. Okay. With all that information, thought it would be fun to run through a little simulation of a timeline. But to keep things light, as people know, or if you haven't met me before, my goal in life, my purpose for being in this meeting is to get jetpacks. I think that luck needs jetpacks. It's my favorite thing is to get luck jetpacks. So I thought it'd be fun to do a timeline for if we were funded for jetpacks, um, what we would do. I just kind of put, oh, there we go. A target start date, but I wanted to brainstorm with you guys. Just some activities. Let's say like a funder comes to us and like, hey, here's a bunch of money, and you guys are gonna get jetpacks. And I'm like, sweet, awesome. And so I get everyone in this room involved in a meeting, and I'm like, okay, on January 1st, 2026, we got a notification of award, and I'm telling you guys a PDF for program development. Um, let's just brainstorm some key activities for how would we roll out a jetpack initiative to get everyone at LUK jetpacks? You can just start throwing, you can either use the chat or you can throw things out.
Let me ask a question. Would we just go and buy them like on the very next day?
Mhm.
We have we have an item in the chat. I can shout them out, Phoebe. Um,
Okay.
Phoebe R says order jet fuel. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah R says research the best brands. I'm going to be super technical and say a procurement process. So that would be requesting bids from companies to sell us their product. We've got instruction and training, staff training. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep it coming. Safety planning, survey staff. I love this. Folks, we need some policies as well around when it's okay to use them and when not. And then procedures and practices. Oh, credentials. Do we have a credentialing? Oh, do people need, yeah. Do you need a jetpack license? Emergency response plan, a waiver. Uh, Keith, I don't
Agreed.
know anything with technology we should be paying attention to.
Well, my background is risk management, so for
Ah,
me, first thing is engage counsel,
okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
but also
We could even
branding
say
them. We got to brand them,
create.
right? We got to brand them,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Get marketing involved
Well,
in that. Let's see. Oh, Meryl should do a press release.
I'm
Oh,
on it. I'd be all excited about that.
we have budget for workers' comp, inventory and tracking system. Yes, that is required by most of our funders.
anything else? This is a really good list so far.
Um, we have to do some tracking of something, like
Mhm.
how many people are using them, like how often, like I don't know, yeah, mileage, something. Oh, create a survey to see if staff enjoy them. Satisfaction survey. Accident reports. Yep.
I'm gonna add that with waivers up here.
Yep. Oh, we probably need a maintenance plan, like to have them checked out every so often.
Everyone knows that jetpacks have annual maintenance, so.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Intern from Monty Tech from auto mechanics. I love it. A little positive youth development action happening here.
Okay, this is an amazing list. Um, so now we're gonna move on to responsible parties. Let me, just because I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go to the NPDI website and I'm going to grab the LUK organizational chart, which I'm not sure if this one is the updated one. So Keith, I'm not sure if your name is on here, but imagine that Keith's name is on here.
Yep.
And I'm going to have this. Okay. I'm not sure if this is helpful for you guys, but I'll have this up here just in case. For any responsible parties. So who's in charge of ordering jet fuel? Who would you talk to?
Mike, really facilities, I think. Mike in our finance office, so I talked to.
And if it's in a specific division, if that division has an admin manager,
Good call.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say for the sake of this activity, it's a cross-divisional resource.
Jetpacks for all divisions.
Mm.
Who else would you think of? You can also chat, same thing. You can chat out for any of these, or we can go through one by one. I'm thinking for researching best brands, I feel like, not to put marketing on the spot, sorry, Sarah, but I feel like marketing, program development would probably be helpful here.
Yeah. I think
Um,
like admin in general.
mhm.
Staff training would be Jen or HR.
Jen, where did I put staff training? Uh, HR training. Yes, agreed.
Oh, procurement, that is finance. That is not
Finance.
something we do very often, by the way. HR also for credentialing from the chat. Staff survey would be HR.
I also feel like we can put QA and MIS in here for
Perfect.
evaluation.
Quality assurance and management of information systems. Our
Yes.
data folks. We have a safety committee for safety planning, right under HR Gen. Yep.
Good one. Oh, I also found this one. QA MIS. I also feel like this could be divisional because it's the supervisors who will probably be distributing the surveys.
We have in the chat, the press release is the marketing/community engagement specialist, AKA Meryl. And then the marketing one would be marketing.
Chris Comp would probably also be HR.
Yeah. The policies is QAC, Quality Assurance and Compliance Committee.
I feel like waivers would also be HR and divisions as well.
Yeah.
You guys came up with a really good list. This is really good.
Yep. I think for the engaged council would be the president. That would be Beth. Oh, the intern one, the Monty Tech intern one would be HR. That was also from chat. Thank you. I appreciate all of the input here, folks. The maintenance plan would be, I mean, I'd put it's Mike, which is facilities finance-ish. And I would do the same thing for the mileage one too. And to date, people might not know this, inventory is done in IT. You might have noticed like our laptops have stickers on them. You know, we have a whole inventory system.
Doing a final check here, but I think we filled everything out.
Okay, we have a question in the chat. Is the reason this is so many departments because this is a project that crosses the entire agency? Yes. We would not have such a big project with so many departments involved for a division program. So it would be much, much more focused on director, assistant director, coordinator, case manager, with some pieces. Marketing is going to involve marketing. Program development's involved in, you know, the startup type of work. So yes, good question. Oh,
I'll bring this up
employee.
just to,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Phoebe.
I was just going to say with this one, with the Prism one, we've also formatted it where it's like this one is specific IT, so it can get scrambled like that. But I just wanted to point that out as well.
Good. And we had another question in the chat around the evaluations. Could employee engagement committee also be involved? I think that is excellent. Maybe this was a whole employee engagement project. I don't know.
Yeah. This was a big talking point in the town hall was the jetpack initiative. So
Really?
yeah.
Could you imagine HR like going out like, and we provide our employees with jetpacks. Like, what a selling point, right?
Yeah, how else to get around, you know? Okay. And then generally speaking, you would put in your target date. A lot of the time, timelines are developed either in a group setting with the division that is most involved, or sometimes even the funder will provide you a timeline, like a structured timeline themselves. I won't make us go through the entire explanation of status and all the activities planned, but as the rollout of the Jetpack initiative goes on, you would fill this out either with an explanation of status and the activities planned. So I'm going to just take over jet fuel just to give you guys an example. Let's say Mike was contacted and a fuel brand identified. And what's today? Today is 11/19/2025. And then in the implementation meeting, this being our implementation meeting, by the end of it, I would save this. I'd put my initials and the date on there just to make sure that I know who edited this last and when it was edited. I'd save it, and then next time I can always come back and update this if and when this changes. So one last thing as well for NPDI folks, just to remind people, there is something to help potentially with timeline if you're like, I don't know where to even start. A planning period is provided for when after an award is announced. The planning period would be from well, this is the planning period, right? Yeah, I don't know my time. This is the planning period, and then this would be the implementation period. So if that would help you put I was about to say ball marks, benchmarks. Help you put benchmarks-ish in your timeline. This may be helpful. When in doubt, refer to the RFR. The RFR can be found right here. Just type in LUK.org, NPDI, and this will be very helpful in crafting your timeline. Also, quick reminder, if you are intending to apply for NPDI, these are all your attachments here. You can use this to checkbox things. If you are completely new to program development and don't even know what this is or where to start, you can also take a peek at this to know what a sample request for response would look like. This is how program development usually gets an idea of funding opportunities and grants to apply for. They look sort of like this. This is internal, but this would give you a good idea. So I'm going to stop sharing and open the floor for questions or comments.
Yeah, I wanted to provide a tip for folks working on the timelines. So you may have noticed the process that Phoebe went through. So first was the brainstorming of all of the activities, and also refer back to your logic model because you have activities listed in your logic model. But once you get them in there, then think about what has to happen first. And then like what is the sequence of things? And that's when you can like cut and paste, copy and paste, whichever, and then put the dates in so that things are in chronological order. We would appreciate that.
Any other questions, comments, letters of recommendation, letters of complaint, if you so choose, is fine as well. I'm going to just drop this in the chat one more time. And then also, if you are in the process of writing and you would like help, NPDI@LUK.org is the email that you want to reach out to. If you are new to the program development process and want to learn more, you can also always reach out to program development, which is Sandy and myself.
Awesome.
So one quick question. As I'm popping in the very last session, is there going to be another round of education and learning like this that I could maybe start from session 1 and be able to kind of see it work through?
So we meet every week.
You do,
This
okay.
is the first time we have ever done something this structured. Usually it's like, we're meeting tomorrow, like what's happening in the world, and let's focus on that. So loosely in the spring, we will hopefully hit the same topics, probably a different order, but based on like real grants that we're working on at the time. And so we might have folks from CES come in and talk about where they're at with their grant they're working on, or, that's just an example. So we will endeavor to put the topic in the Slack channel. A couple days before a Monday or Tuesday so that it'll help people decide if they can, if you have to flex your schedule, which weeks would be more priority to attend or not. And
Excellent.
we love to take requests. If people want to learn more about anything in particular related to program development, which is huge, just let us know.
Thank you.
Also, if you are interested, I know this is one of the last ones, but if you're like, gosh, I don't know what to do with all of my amazing, copious amounts of free time, the recordings are also up if you have a question about a specific topic. They're on the website, but also reach out if you're having trouble accessing them.
Oh, that works. No, we've done nothing but read for about a
Yeah.
week and a half here. The brain it's a little toasty, but we're making it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. NPDI applications due next Wednesday. We are not having seminar next Wednesday. It's the day before Thanksgiving. So I know people are coming and going and trying to get stuff done. Let us know if you have any questions. And then the week we return, the first Wednesday in December, we will be doing ratings from the strategic plan town hall. So we'll look more closely at the activities that were in the strategic plan that relate to program development and philanthropy funding. I'm not quite sure, Meryl, what the other half of that's called. And we'll rate our progress, which will help us determine what to pay attention to for the next, 6 months or a year. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time today. Have a great afternoon.